You know, I was telling someone the other day, I said that Trump is on fire. Trump is on fire. Trump, I don't care what anybody says. Trump is on fire. Trump is bigger with his fans than ever. Trump is of the opinion, or I don't know why, but I'm telling you that he is absolutely, positively, without peer, and anything that you, excuse me, try to apply, any analysis, any reason, any clarification, means absolutely nothing. Certain things don't make sense. Joe Rogan was talking about somebody, excuse me, about a rapper that everybody he says is the hottest thing around. This rapper is the greatest rapper to date. Even Barack Obama said he's incredible. And his name is Young Nudie. Nudie. Do you understand that? His name is Young Nudie. Now, have you ever heard of Young Nudie? Have you ever heard of him? I heard a sample. And I don't even know what to say. It sounded like nothing to me. Joe Rogan was even talking about how he was at first not taken by the particular lyricality of it. And lo and behold, okay. I would never listen to a second. It doesn't really matter. Now listen to how I analyze this. Listen to what I'm saying and listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to me. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. Whether I like it, don't like it, think it's stupid, doesn't matter. I'm not in that audience. He, for some reason, is the biggest thing anybody has ever. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. When people try to apply their own look at things, this is where I want to teach you this. If I could possibly teach you something, step back from what you think is important. Always look around and ask yourself, why am I seeing this? When you live in New York, you get to see, especially during summertime, whatever, you see a lot of tourist people. And there's one thing that you absolutely, no matter where you go, are just incredibly impressed with. The amount of obesity. It's not in one particular place. And I don't know if it's worldwide. I do not know this. Of those, I was looking around. I'm trying to get a feel for, is the obesity distribution the same for Asian and Asian Americans? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think Asian Americans probably is, because once the Western diet kicks in. What I'm trying to tell you is observe things and don't make any judgment call. Just say, okay, that's it. That's the thing. Food trends, political trends, it doesn't matter. If Joe Biden could get over the fact that he is seriously senescent, he would be a very, very good candidate, because there certainly is there is a degree of, by virtue of his natural disposition, there is a degree of, dare I say, likability. He's rather avuncular. He's a very good. He's a lot warmer. I mean, notwithstanding the fact that he grabs kids and things, but he's a lot warmer than Trump is. Trump is not a warm. I mean, he's okay, but he's not. He's not. He doesn't come across whatever, and that's okay. He works around it. And when you tell people this,
when you tell people this in particular, they will go nuts because they hate Joe Biden so much. And I'm thinking to myself, you're missing the point here. You have to be able to analyze things irrespective of your own political ideations. And what I'm telling you is that, and what people don't understand, let me say something with all due respect to President Trump and what he's doing right now, I'm not going to vote for him. I'm not interested in that anymore. That ship has sailed. And when I say this, doesn't mean that he sailed. I think there's a lot about him that's terrific. I think there's a lot about him that is just we could all learn from tremendously, without a doubt. But that's just not going to work now. That's not going to work. I'm looking at who is the best surgeon to save our life, who is the best person available, who can work the best with others. Because if you think Trump is going to be able to work with people, I think you're missing the point. It's just not going to happen. And it will be probably better for himself. But that notwithstanding, there's a couple of interesting shows. And I like people who are moving up. Fox News that is so gone, I don't even know what to tell you. Fox News is, hey, it was great. I don't know what this is right now. It was very sad to see that National Geographic is just not in existence. National Geographic was terrific, but it's a different media landscape. MSDNC, as I told you a week or so ago, is moving up because they're kind of the most rational. CNN still doesn't know what it wants to be when it grows up. Though sometimes if you catch their morning news, their news can be pretty doggone good. That's it. I kind of want just headline news. Almost just give me what happened. Fires in France, moving to Belgium. This is what they're saying. That's it. I don't want to hear a lot of other stuff. Just tell me what the story is. Boop, boop. This one died. That one died. Alan Arkin died. Alan Arkin, a great actor. Remember The In-Laws? Oh my God, probably one of the great. Oh my God, remember? Oh no, that's The Out-of-Towners. So Sandy Dennis and Jack Lemmon. Alan Arkin, also in the Great Kaminsky or whatever, phenomenally great. Anyway, just want to know. Tell me who's. That's all I want to know. And CNN used to be pretty good at that. Going back to Trump. So OAN, that's where I was going. OAN is this little train that could. Watch them. They're young, they're eager, and I like their style. It might be a little bit more unpolished, but that's where you get more raw news. I like that. It's more rustic. It's like the stuff your grandmother makes versus a Michelin star. You know what I mean? They're just different. Grandma is better, but Michelin star may look better, may have better ambiance, but grandma's food is better. Does that make any sense? Good. Look at OAN. Very good. There used to be something called Right Side Broadcasting. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I liked them. They were on their way, and they were just covering Trump's speeches and that sort of thing. So I look at this as a cultural analyst. What's happening in terms of culture? What's happening in terms of culture? And there are people who love Trump more than ever. You have to understand this. I'm not asking you to agree with it. That's what people always say. Mrs. Ellen and I one time remember seeing it was a cold day. We happened to be in Brooklyn, and lo and behold, Bernie Sanders was there. Bernie Sanders happened to inspire young people to the point where it was, you had to see it to believe it. That doesn't mean I'm voting for Bernie Sanders. I'm pointing this out. There is a restaurant in New York called Ellen's Stardust Diner. It's on Broadway and 50th or whatever it is. And there is a line out the door. I mean, tourists love this place. And I was in there one time. And it has Broadway singers in there. Anyway, make a long story short, I'm pointing out, look at this place is always packed. And by the way, I want you to look around. When you go to the mall,
when you go to the store, look who's there buying stuff. Look at the mall. Cheesecake Factory is one of the greatest. That's not an inexpensive place, but they're packed. Malls, when you go to a mall, like Mrs. L says, always look to see if are they carrying bags or are they just hanging around. The economy is far better than you think, just by observational things. Just look at different things. And let me also tell you something. I don't want to go too much into detail, but you can always tell when the country feels better, things like disaster stuff, guns, I don't know what the word is, but certain items that are sometimes indicative of impending worry, those sales go down. Just observe. I want you to understand something. Be an observer. Remember the name Young Nudie. I'm not asking you to listen to him. Just remember that. So if somebody says it, you say, oh, yes, I've heard of that name. Really? Yes, I hear everything. I'm aware of everything. Another thing else that I'm noticing. For the first time now, people are really coming down on the myth and the lies regarding Ukraine and Zelensky. Listen to this. You couldn't get near this before. You couldn't get near it. Now with Colonel McGregor, Scott Ritter, Judge Napolitano, other people, the Duran, they've been on this since day one, giving you a version, Patrick Lancaster, all these folks who were giving all of this worldview, which I find fascinating. You never see any of that here. And what you're going to see, listen to me, is the regular CNN sock puppet groups just kind of go away. They're just going to sort of go away. Like it never happened. Okay? Just like it never happened. Just move along. Look for certain things. Get an idea. Go to the Drudge Report and get a quick analysis, very quickly, of what this is. Okay? Oh, by the way, here was something else. Listen to this. This is another New York story. We're seeing something interesting. First, we had smoky air in New York. Listen to this. Now, clouds of bugs. Winged aphids invade New York City. Are the winged aphids the same as the other bugs?
This is the same group. Yeah.
Same group. Okay, good. This is very interesting. There's talk of there's more earthquakes in California. You're going to be seeing more inclement, more strange, catastrophic types of things. Very, very important. Watch this. They're also talking about geoengineering for the first time. Don't ask me why. They broke through. And I told you, when people start talking about not chemtrails, but geoengineering, I said, if ever you hear anybody ever on any TV show or news say the words Building 7, it's the end of the world, the apocalypse is nigh, run as fast, it's all been inverted. That's the final thing. I never thought anybody ever talk about geoengineering. Never. Now we're talking about these certain, dare I say, right-wing factions in Ukraine, which nobody mentioned. They're doing it now. You're going to see a rise right now in alternative news. When I say alternative news, I say they are news. I say they are news. Look at some of, it's very interesting. Number one, Lex Friedman has some of the, I think is the most interesting shows. There is no set. He wears one suit, two camera maybe. And it's, I mean, it is so bare bones, it's not even funny. Not even funny. Just through the roof. Rogan set. Okay. It's nothing that great. Two camera. That's it. Jimmy Dore, very popular. Nothing. His looks like an old, reminds me of an old, like a kid set, like during the 3 o'clock movie. Hi, this is Barney Bungalover with Make Way for Sports Shirts on your Channel 5 afternoon. You know, very, very low, very popular. You're seeing more and more and more just really good, excellent people. There was an appearance by a fellow by the name of Max Blumenthal appearing before UN speaking about Ukraine. It's brilliant. And you're seeing more and more and more and more and more of people who are actually just saying things that they know so much about. And you don't necessarily have to be a credentialed journalist with a fancy set and all this kind of jazz. I don't know. Sometimes people are able to do some things. An old friend of mine, he may not want to think so now, but we used to work together. His name is Mark Maron. He was one of the first who did the WTF podcast. And I was listening to him interview one of my absolute favorites, John Prine, when John Prine was with us. And it was one of the most incredibly wonderful and nice interview styles that just worked. And it's what I'm trying to tell you is that this, my friend, this is it. This is what you're seeing now is going to change everything. You're going to show your grandkids, you're going to say, let me show you the news we used to see. Because anybody at a set looks so bad. Anybody at a set. People, if they're bald, they wear a hat. If they're bald, they wear a kerchief. If they want to hide something, nobody wears a toque that I'm aware of. Nobody is Botoxed doing their thing. It's raw and natural and beautiful, and it's just certain things I'm seeing as an observer. I'm thinking, ooh, this is running out of gas. Always change it. For example, the mob stories. How many times can I hear Michael Franzese, Sammy the Bull talk about Big Paulie getting whacked in front of Sparks? I mean, what are you going to do? You need something new here. We need to move on. So that's a little tweak. You're seeing a revolution. Now, let me change the subject just a little bit. Are you familiar with the fact that Elon Musk is an evil genius? Anybody, you know that? He's an evil genius. Do you have that one down? Elon Musk is an evil genius. By the way, I need your likes. We need 300 likes. There are many, many ways to support what we do. Of course, one of our best ways is to support our great sponsor, MyPillow.com. They have, by the way, listen to this, 4th of July deals you cannot believe. Always ask somebody this stupid question. I do it every time. Ask somebody, how many countries have a 4th of July? Or July where they go, no, all of them. And then you move on. And of course, the answer is that yes, but there's no significance. Anyway, I do it all the time. And on the 4th of July, when you see my Twitter account, you will see me say, here's a trick question nobody gets. And it's so obvious that you're not going to believe how many people don't get it.
How many countries have a 4th of July? Go ahead, give it a shot. You won't get it. And immediately people, they're like the Margarets and the Leave It to Beaver. I know, Mrs. Canfield, I know. They all do. And I'll come back later. Wow, I can't believe it. This has been up for 2 hours and not one person has got the answer right. Now they're being played, but they don't know that. Then they go, I did. I said it before. Hey, didn't you see me? Me. They are so stupid. They are so cosmically stupid. I don't know how they even remotely exist. Okay. So mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. That brave man decided he was going to come out and he was going to say, you know what? I'm going to say things about Trump. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond said, oh, no, you don't. And they shelved him and they went after him and oh, man. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond is not here anymore, which is sad because I liked that store. When it first came out, it was great. Had a funky smell to it. I liked it. It was good. And then, I don't know what the hell, they went crazy. How people do things and change, I have no idea. So anyway, so that's him. So you can support us that way. By the way, you can always support in many ways we have here. People have asked, how can I support? Well, we have all kinds of super chat. We have this. You do whatever you feel right. If you like this, great. Now, let me explain to you what's going on here. Twitter. Why is Twitter important? Elon Musk is a genius. And Elon Musk, how about that stupid, have you seen where Zuckerberg and Lex Friedman are wrestling? Listen, this may sound stupid, but there was a time when wrestlers would wrestle in competitive, high school or Dan Gable era, but not with each other. There's something weird about this. I don't know. And I'm also going to say something which is very interesting. And I hope you don't take it the wrong way, but I'm going to say something. Wrestling is great. That's terrific. But there's a lot of guys, I think, out there who enjoy it a little bit more than they're letting on. I'm just saying. There's a lot of people out there who are doing things in this crypto, I think it was called crypto, but it was called homoerotic. And there are a lot of people right now going out of their ways to be hyper male, to show people, look how masculine I am. Look at me, look. Well, here's Zuckerberg and Friedman. They're choking each other. See? I'm a man. Okay. No. Look, I've got him in a leg lock. See? And you're also basically hugging him a lot. Well, we're not hugging him. Well, no, you're hugging him. You can call it hugging. You can call, but you sure like that. I'm just saying. There's something about somebody who says, "Okay, I'm going to do this." Other people who say, I like this. I'm just saying. So anyway, so Elon got into this latest thing with Zuckerberg, and they're going to fight. Okay. But the latest thing is he is limiting, if you're, and it changes every hour, if you have the verified, by the way, the verified Twitter makes the most sense. You get unlimited. It's just better. Longer, you can bold, you can do for $8 a month, for God's sakes. Are you kidding me? $8, that's a Starbucks trip for most people. They waste their money on crap. That's the best thing in the world. Anyway, if it doesn't matter to you, it's up, no problem. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to explain to you, and I did 2 videos on this that are coming up later. One on the Titan sub, which is the most incredible story there is. It's so fascinating, the sub issues, number one. The other thing which is important to note is, going back to this Twitter, is that if I'm the Intel folks, I say, okay, here's what I'm going to do. By the way, we need 300 likes. I need 300 likes. Come on, I need them, my friends. I don't want to beg. Ain't too proud to beg. I need 300 likes, please. For the love of God. For the love of God. Please. So anyway, so to make a long story short, if I'm Intel, I'm going to say, well, here's what's going on.
there's this thing called Twitter. And Twitter's this thing which is great. Now let's compare. Facebook, as someone said, it was like a walled garden. You have to be there by invitation. A walled garden. So it's there, but it's not, you can't glean a lot. You have to be, I mean, you can follow somebody in the Facebook fan page, but not really whatever. Okay, that's over there. YouTube and others are good too because that's the creator, and you respond to the creator. You respond to the creator, and you do that stuff, and that's great and that's wonderful, right? That's the way that is. Twitter is terrific because not only do you respond, but you can be a creator too when you retweet. Twitter is the most important piece of equipment for anybody in Intel. Twitter is the most important, the most critical, the most valid, the most wonderful. Twitter is. And what Twitter does is, one thing is it does something called scraping. And scraping is it takes all of the information and says, okay, let's start off today. Here's what's going on. What are people saying? Well, we're talking about, let's see about fires, Paris fires. And it's almost like a brie or like a jamón de serrano, like you kind of like slice it, and this scrape is the people who think the rioting is warranted. This scrape is people who are against it. This one is said this is a precursor to world dominance. This one says and there's all this stuff all over the place. All right, you got it? Okay, that's where we are right now. All this information, all this stuff. And what's critical is that the more information I have, the more information I can scrape. And Elon Musk is theoretically, ostensibly saying, I want to limit the amount of scraping that goes on. But really what he's trying to say is, but if you pay my $8 a month, I'll give you, say, okay, Elon, we got it. Okay. Still need 300 likes. I'm not going to, please. I'm working real hard for you here. I'm working real hard. It's a Sunday morning, been off for 27 and a half minutes. I'm doing this for you. I'm not asking a lot. Got to be honest with you. So this actually will limit the amount. Okay, fine. But people will say, I don't know anything about what Twitter is. Twitter is so perfect. It allows Intel, shadow government Intel sources, the ability to grasp and to pull and cull and cultivate everything there is that they need to know from your words alone. It is an Intel tool that is so great, so smart, so wonderful, that if it wasn't created, or if it wasn't, it had to be created. In fact, it's so important, you still haven't figured this one out yet. You still haven't figured this one out. You still haven't figured this one out. And people will sit back and they love to mock it. It's like, you don't understand. Again, it's like people who said like young nudie, they laugh at this and say, this is the biggest thing around. Yeah, but I don't get it. I don't do it. Well, that doesn't mean anything. No, if I don't do it, nobody does it. Okay, well, maybe, but I don't know. That may not work. That may not make any sense, but nonetheless, what am I saying? Okay. It's beyond brilliant. Beyond brilliant. And this is something that folks are not going to be able... Now, before I forget. So when you take this, they make it sound like there's somebody downtown at Twitter who says, okay, let's look for all these people who talk about, vaccines or whatever it is. No. This is when artificial intelligence comes in and says, we'll do it for you. Not only can we do it, we can do things you can't even imagine. We are so fast. We are so good. We can retrain ourselves. We can machine learn. We can figure this out. We know everything immediately. Who knows? We may be able to change things, deposit things. Certain people see certain stuff. Who knows? It's there. So Elon ostensibly is trying to get away from that so that there could be a more free and open type of stuff. And that's critical, and that's wonderful, and that's great. But understand what's going on here. You're the product. You're it. When something is free, when something is given to you, it's not the product. You're the product. They want you to opine, to think. You understand this? You got this? This is something which is really, really critical. And this is something that it's so funny how we, with all these smart people who know everything about this, they don't know anything about AI or AGI, and they don't understand the notion of how this thing works. And what you have is a bunch of pretend Republicans who have these stupid, silly meetings where you bring in Zuckerberg, you yell at him for a while, and then all is forgiven. It's that big, that huge, that incredible. Now, remember a couple of things too, which you got to notice, which is important. Incredible. France. Drudge has stomps Elysee, riots rage in France, 45,000 cops on streets, we are at war, travel warning for tourists, be careful. I also want to say something about, how do we say this? I know you don't care about this. I'm going to say this. But, and I know what you're going to say. Oh, I don't care about. Okay, fine. The Madonna story. If you don't see what that one's about, anybody who has been following the blinds, the behind-the-scenes story, everything about her, the declining career, she's got more. She could be doing whatever it is. People who don't want to, there's nothing to recreate. You know, Sheryl Crow, if she wants to, she can say, okay, I'm going to go. She's not Madonna, but she can say, okay, I'll do some acoustic, baby, because she's a musician. Madonna's not. I don't even think, if she can even sing. She's just this freak who found herself in the position of, okay. People with real talent will slow down and say, all right, let me do this. Celine Dion is very, very, very concerned about her. There are some people who are incredibly talented. And there are some people who are whacked out of their minds. Let me just tell you something too. If you knew the degree of predation and horror in Hollywood, you wouldn't believe it. And the best ones are the people who were around in the 60s and 70s, like you can't believe. Like you can't believe. They may look a little kind of older now and fuddy-duddy and whatever. It was a level of debauchery you can't believe. And in the 20s and 30s, that's like Caligula. You don't know, you can't believe what's going on right now. Also, a couple of things I saw. Were the movies, I thought that Raiders of the Lost Ark was bad, but then they said it was good. The turn.
No, I just know every single movie, there's only a handful out right now. This used to be a very big thing, 4th of July.
Yeah.
Big, everybody's got trans and binary
Right.
characters. It's a whole new thing.
I'm also saying something which is critical for you to understand something. The trans and bi stuff, binary, non-binary, let me explain something to you. First, this is the official feeling. Number one. If this represents the population, whether the movie population, the theater population, whatever it is, most of them will say, yeah, I feel, sure, yeah. Trans, hey, yeah, whatever. Most people don't give a hoot. Because most people, it's not that they're open-minded. They really say, I don't really care. Whatever. It's 2023. Hey, he wants to dress up like a whatever. No, you don't understand. He wants a bit whatever. Whatever.
Doesn't matter. We don't care about that. Go ahead. Do whatever you want to do. Do whatever you want. Be what you want to be. Doesn't matter. Just do whatever it is. That's fine. Okay. That's the way most people feel. What's interesting to note also, believe it or not, interestingly enough, is that people will say, now listen, what we think is one thing. We're getting tired of this. Dylan Mulvaney, I saw this thing. Listen to this. I saw this today, and I'm thinking, I always double check. Thinking, can they be that stupid? Like when Ocean Gate leaves up on their website, hey, we're planning another tour. Can they be that stupid? Can they? Is that possible? Here's one for you. This is the one that's interesting. Okay, Bud Light tweet. Ready for this? Okay, Bud Light. Here's the link. Bud Light and Wieners. Name a more iconic pairing. We'll wait. And there's beer and a hot dog. Bud Light and Wieners. Now, can they be that stupid and forget Dylan Mulvaney and the whole problem that some people may have with certain thing is, dare I say, the Wieners. I'm just saying. Do you think it's possible for these people to be this stupid and not understand that is a bad pun? That is a bad everything. Doesn't make any sense. Does that make any sense to you? How can anybody? Okay, so going back to what I was saying, here's the problem. We're tired of this. And the reason why people are saying is that, look, quit trying to force this crazy lunacy into our way of thinking. Hey, look who it is, folks. It's Ted Smith. Ted says, I love crooner by trade. Ever since I found this wonderful organization, my life has been totally complete. It's truly life's final piece of the puzzle. Crooner by trade. We're always sentimental. Thank you, Ted. And good luck to you as well. May you always be healthy and in full in fighting trim, as we say. Thank you for that. As I was saying, I'm sure, Ted, you'll agree as well. Stop doing this. Stop doing it. You know, you got the Little Mermaid, and then she's black or brown. Okay, fine. You got this, and they say, okay, all right, it's fine. Okay. You got this one. Fine. We saw there's a Netflix video about American Gladiators. Do you remember that? Do you remember American Gladiators? It's one of the most interesting things. I'm of course, an historian of professional wrestling, specifically NWA and the like. And how that thing is just, because wrestling today just, when you've got WWF, when you got MMA, it's interesting. I'm sure it's good. And I'm probably speaking prematurely, but I don't think it has the same oomph or whatever. Anyway, make a long story short. So what's happening right now, and this is the most interesting, very, very important, is that now we're seeing folks who are doing a lot of stuff, and people are getting tired of it. Somebody says, any comment on Jim Caviezel and his upcoming movie, Human Child Trafficking? Well, you know what? Is that the one that deals with American or foreign?
It's foreign.
Okay.
It's Operation Underground and his foreign mission.
Okay.
And remember, they took a lot of Hollywood liberties. That's sort of what
Okay. I'm going to have Mrs. L. Cup. We're going to be talking about this too.
tonight.
Yeah, tonight be good. We should do it tonight and have her talk about this, because there's a whole lot of stuff that's it's interesting, but we're interested, very frankly, in what's happening in our country. And that's not to be cruel or crude or mean or whatever. It speaks a very serious truth. We want to talk about what's happening in this country. Also notice that anything they can do to trash Mel Gibson, they will do. And that once it hits that level, see, once, just like with geoengineering, Ukraine, vaccines, people are talking about vaccines left and right with Bobby Kennedy. The whole matrix has changed. The whole world has changed. So we will be doing that. We're going to be doing that tonight.
Mrs. L and I will be. I think tonight's a very, very good time. So I'm glad you brought that one up. Oh, here's our friends Crooner by Trade. Listen to Ted Smith. Crooner by Trade is life's final piece of the puzzle. Call us today for all your crooner needs. Thank you for that. And please do. I don't know who they are, but you know what? I don't have to know who they are. Thank you for that. Very, very nice. Very, very, very nice indeed. Thank you for that. So anyway, that's where we are today, my friends. Now, how should you feel? Well, you should feel a little bit good in that there are some things that are kind of coming up. By the way, still need 300 likes. It's right there. It's right there. You need 300 likes. Very, very simple. I'm feeling a little better. Keep an eye again cursorily on how Drudge is coming after Ron DeSantis. That's interesting. That means he must be doing better. Trump is still has a force behind him he can't believe, contrary to what people might think. So in any event, we thank you for that. So dear friends, Mr. Trade and Mr. Smith, thank you so much. We'll be back tonight at 7 p.m. with Mrs. L. Make sure you make a point of that. Make sure you do it. We have a lot of stuff to talk about and a lot of interesting things which you should be aware of as well. All right, dear friends, listen. Let me also remind you something, and you've been very, very good about this. This is Mrs. L's YouTube, and she's putting out more information which more people need. And believe me when I tell you this, they absolutely steal this flat out. This is her YouTube channel. Please go and use it. It's designated immediately for subscription purposes. So please go there and enjoy that. Thank you for today. Have a wonderful and a safe day. We will talk to you this evening at 7 p.m. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell. Hit that bell. We need 3 more likes, and we hit our 300. That's it. Just 3 more, and we're done. We're done. That's it. So that's it. And other than that, I thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You have been terrific. Look at this, $2.99. Just one more, and we can close up shop and call it not a day, but call it a morning. Just one more like, and that's all we need. Just one more like. That's it. Just one, as he begs and pleads, entreats and importunes. There we go, 301. Excellent. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you tonight at 7 p.m. Until then, remember these words. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.